Hi, welcome to our very first edition of Upside Down. And today we have a very wonderful guest in studio, that is Benjamin NJATHA. Benjamin NJATHA is a minister at Eagles Faith Christian Center, and we have a very interesting topic for you. We are discussing addictions. I don't know whether you know what addictions are. You're just going to know that in a few. And we are going to turn things upside down and right side up. So karibu sana Bwana Benjamin.
Thank you so much, Tony, for having me.
You're very welcome in our show today. So this is Upside Down. This is where we discuss the issues that ill our society. And our topic today is addictions. So you should tell us, because you are a marriage and youth counselor, you can tell us what is addictions.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, he said I'm a marriage and a youth counselor, and addictions are one of the things that we grapple with in the way we associate with people. There are various kinds of addictions, but basically an addiction is the desire to get gratification, an unnatural desire to get gratification from a substance or a given act. Mm-hmm. And an addiction comes from where there is a compelling influence to the brain to get gratification from maybe a given substance, a physical act that you're doing, or an emotional response. And the way that an addiction manifests itself is, first of all, it creates an unnatural craving or appetite towards a given act or a given substance. And then after that craving is established, there is a compulsion to always desire to use it. And after that, you are beyond control. Like, you cannot control its use, you cannot limit yourself in its use. Mm-hmm. And after that, you continue to use that given substance or to do a given act, even when you know that the consequences are negative.
All right. Yeah. So you said it might be a substance or something that you do.
That you do, yeah.
So maybe you can give us a few examples of some of the addictions that are common.
Yeah, some of the addictions that are common.
Mm-hmm.
First, I would like to mention there are two kinds of addictions, as we already said. Those that emanate from the abuse of a substance are usually emotional. And there are those that now are physical through what we act. So the addictions to sex, the addictions to drugs and substances, to media, like TV and social media, the people who are addicted to foods, you see.
Or food?
Very many people are addicted to foods because they go to a given kind of food to get gratification. Maybe when they feel lonely, they start eating junk food in order to feel a certain kind of way. Yeah.
So, you said that it is a way of seeking gratification.
Yes.
Does it mean that we end up in addictions because of something that is lacking or what?
Okay, how we end up in gratification, in seeking gratification in substances and act is because the way the human brain is constructed. The human brain has a reward system, and the reward system was intended by God to be able to cause us to learn or to motivate us to take action, and that the kind of action that is necessary for human survival. So in the brain there is a part called the limbic system. And the limbic system excretes neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and endorphin. Now, these are the kind of neurotransmitters that are engaged in rewarding. When you do a good thing and you feel good about it, it's because the limbic system has released a neurotransmitter like dopamine. Any addictive act or an addictive substance usually causes the release of dopamine. But what it does is that it exaggerates the release. So there is so much release of the neurotransmitter, and then the receptacle, the receiver, because there is a receiver in the system, gets so excited. So when the dopamine is released in excess, you get so excited, you get overly excited. And now you want to continue doing that to get that kind of an excitement. So that's how addictions form. You might just look at things like food, for instance. Food in its construct is not addictive. But once you start getting a given excitement from food, you want to eat more you see. Because food is okay. When you eat food, the human system shows you that you reward, you feel good about yourself, you start feeling there is strength in your body, you become happy. That was constructed so by God so that you don't die in hunger. You'll always respond to food because you know it will make you feel good. Now the problem comes when you take in excess food and there is like excess release of dopamine in your brain and it makes you feel unnaturally good. So that your appetite is always, you're drawing towards a given substance or a given act. Maybe it's masturbation, maybe it's sex, because of the flood of dopamine that is coming to your brain. So that is the kind of addiction that will come up. Now, from that, you realize that there is a receptacle for what is released, like for dopamine. There is a place in the brain that is supposed to receive that and give now the reward system. Now, what the brain does naturally, it is that it inhibits those receptors. It starts killing them so that they don't receive that unnatural excitement. You realize now when it is blocked, you will need more dopamine to feel the same level of excitement that you had before. So what it means is that you'll have to use more substance. Let's say for a person like the one using cocaine or any other drug, they will need more drugs in order to release more dopamine to feel the same level of excitement that they were feeling before. So that's how people get hooked, and that's how the addiction grows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So probably I would want you to tell us that are there things that are good that you can get addicted to, and can they be helpful, or are always addictions negative?
Okay, addictions are always negative. I know people say that, oh, I'm addicted to Jesus and all that. It's kind of a misunderstanding because of how the brain is constructed. There are things that are good in themselves, but people get addicted to them. Mm-hmm. For instance, TV. TV is good on itself, it's not addictive because many people watch TV, and there are people who cannot stay without watching TV. They feel a compulsion, a drawing to watch TV, even when the consequences are negative. Maybe they spend too much time on TV, they don't give attention to their work or their spouse because of TV. You see, TV is a positive thing, yet it causes an addiction. The other thing is maybe, as we've mentioned already, food. You give too much attention to food and you get an addiction to that. Maybe sex. Sex is good, it was meant for pleasure for mankind, it was meant for reproduction, but there are people who take it overboard, that all they do is think about sex. It becomes a perversion. Yeah, it becomes a perversion. So we know that there has to be a balance in everything that we do. Even the good things that we are given can easily turn into an addiction, and it is not helpful because of the damage that it causes on your brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You had it that an addiction is not, it might be that good thing that you do, but in the wrong run, it will cost you. So see you after this short break. We'll be right back.